Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Eric Bird, here at StopStrugglingNow.com. And tonight, it's Don't Be Fooled by World Events. It's upside down to financial freedom, it appears. And we got to talk about it. Salsa dance for a few people today, Max ETF payouts. And welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Stop struggling now, gear. Check. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. Now, let's get to it. All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for being here. And please share the videos because you never know who's out here looking for information. The second part, you never know who's out here not looking for information that could use some help. Get them in line because the world is upside down. What do I mean by that? We had United States attack Iran. Iran today delivers a package, or yesterday evening, late night, depending on the time of day where you are, but fires upon military in Qatar, another country. What did the stock market do today? It actually went up because of the attack in Qatar on a United States military base, by the way. And there's allegedly a ceasefire only from the mouth of our President Trump. Israel and Iran has not confirmed any ceasefire. And the stock market overnight futures are positive. There's still a war in against Ukraine and Russia. There's still situations going down with the other countries that Israel has bombed in the last 2 months. Nothing has changed with regard to inflation, tariffs, kidnapping United States citizens and doing whatever you want with them without going to court. And the stock market is continuing to rise. Gas prices are going up because of the Iran situation, but that doesn't matter. Stocks are still going up. Upside down your way to financial freedom, ladies and gentlemen. Oftentimes you have to ride the wave. That's how you have to do it out here, apparently. So let me know what you think. Smash the like button, share the videos, let other people know what's going on because you're going to have to make financial decisions in an upside down world where war means positive stock market for the United States. Regardless of tariffs, regardless of inflation, I have to repeat this again, regardless of consumer numbers, it does not matter if people are getting laid off left and right, does not matter if 80% of the population is living paycheck to paycheck, does not matter 70% of the population does not have $1,000 in their bank account, does not matter that all-time record high credit card debt, does not matter $37 trillion and climbing with the deficit, does not matter that we have a government that the GOP controlled House put forth a bill so therefore they can cut your Medicaid. Medicare, Medicaid, Social Security, and give tax cuts and tax breaks to the wealthy that the middle class and lower classes are going to have to pay for, and add $3 to $4 trillion to the deficit. Does not matter. Tariffs still in effect. The stock market is still going up, which should prove one thing: it doesn't make any sense. So you have to be in the stock market because the top 10% own 93% of the stock market. So therefore, it's their own casino, and you want to play with house money, then you have to be in the game. Sitting on the sidelines means you're going to have to increase your income, and you want passive income versus having to work for it. So think about all of that I just mentioned, because again, you're going to have to F average and be legendary, whoever you are, over the next 20, 25 years. Because if things go worse, such as this tax cut and tax break bill hits, we're going to owe over 40 some $1 trillion, and $1 trillion a year is interest only for printing all this money over all these years. That is going to cause more inflation. So think about it, ladies and gentlemen, because $1 trillion is interest, and our military industrial complex cost $1 million in taxes to the American public. The $1 trillion in interest the American public has to pay. But right now, we're negative 37 trillion, soon to be negative 41 trillion if this crazy stuff happening in our government. So this upside down world, the stock market is still rising regardless. They don't need any tax, or not tax cuts. We don't need Jerome Powell to reduce the Federal Reserve interest rate. Why? In this upside down world, the stock market keeps going up. Housing prices in certain states keep rising. People are willing to buy 6.9, 7.4% interest rate mortgage loans. People are willing to buy cars for 75, 100,000 and have 10-year, 8-year, 10-year car payments. So what do we have a problem in this upside down world? You're no longer going to be able to sit on the sidelines. There's going to be an implosion. You just don't know when, but we do here. 1 year, 6 months. You better get your act together, ladies and gentlemen. There's your fair warning. EV Place, welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Good evening, everyone. Enjoy delayed yield max. Exactly. Just got a few notifications. Too hot for the salsa dance. That's right. But I'm celebrating with a cold drink. That's exactly right. You're telling me if you don't believe in climate change, okay, no problem. There is something going on. It's you know what's really weird? The Northeast is just as hot as the deserts of Las Vegas and Arizona. That is what's hilarious. 106, no problem. 108, no problem. 102, no problem. That is crazy. But once again, go look at Namibia, or is it Namibia? I think it's Namibia. But anyhow, I've never been there. But nonetheless, there are ships in the desert. That's right. Ships are in the desert. Think about that. All right. So things change. The world changes. And now those cold drinks that we have to talk about. The salsa dance. Who had their drinks ready today after you received notification from Yield Max ETF and others? If you're not familiar with YieldMax ETF, I suggest you go start studying. If you're not familiar with the stock market, I suggest you start paying attention, because these guys are making it very, very interesting, where it can go up no matter if there's a Russia-Ukraine war and a USA attack on Iran and missiles going back and forth between Iran and Israel and missiles going over to Qatar hitting a United States military base. The stock market says, that's no problem. And Iran goes to their parliament and says, do you want to close parts of the Straits of Hormuz? Okay, if you start doing anything like that, that means there's going to be a disruption with oil, the petrodollar. But it does not matter in this upside down world. The stock market says, let me brush this off. There's no worries about that either, even though they voted yes. No worries. It's all good. I'm like, on what planet would any of this stuff be all good, where your stock market and you're in a war potentially would be going up? How is this possible? Upside down world means financial freedom for you, ladies and gentlemen. This is what we're talking about. Did anybody pick up any of that Bitcoin when it went down to 99,000? Or did you sit on the sideline watching the parade go by, squeaking? Come on now. I want to hear from you guys about this. This is incredible. This is a glorious time if you have disposable income. Do you have disposable income out here, ladies and gentlemen, to actually put something down? Because it's going to be very, very hard for a lot of people, because 80% of people are already living very, very hard, paycheck to paycheck, sometime during every month of the year. So that leaves us just the top 20% to be the consumer nation. But the top 20%, oh my, they're holding like 70% of the wealth in America. So they can go on shopping sprees. How much are they going to spend? Well, not quite as much as the bottom 80% if you had income equality. But since we have income inequality, the top 20% can carry the load. Just saying. I got something else for you guys to think about as well. Do you guys know what happens if you take out like the top 20% of the wealthiest? When we talk about the average income in America, the average wage in America, I should say, can you believe it's somewhere between 45 and 50,000 once you remove the top 20% of the wealthiest? 80% of the population, in case you don't know, is over 240 million people. 240 million people. Are you getting this yet? So that means 45 to 50,000 who can live on that when one bedrooms are $1,800 to $2,500 per month. That used to be New York prices. That used to be San Francisco prices. Not anymore. That's Main Street prices to live. Not in a mansion, not in anything fancy, just a small unit, just so you can take your behind to work. If this is not an advertisement for starting your own business, or better yet, forget starting, buying into a business, getting your own LLC, if you're going to start your own business, but buying into a business may be a good time to start thinking about it, because in Main Street, that's you, me, and everybody else just roaming around, going to our retail shopping locations, doing whatever. On Main Street, these businesses are suffering because the bottom 80% are living paycheck to paycheck, so they have to cut back somewhere. Somebody's out here saying, hey, I want $200,000 for my business. I'll let you take over payments, and I'll actually be a consultant, so you can pay me a wage, and I'll let you take this over with no credit check, no nothing, because it's hard damn work, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to F around and find out shortly because this upside down thing that's happening right now, you need to take advantage of it. You can't sit idly by, like I've been saying for the last year and a half, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. I remind everyone, maybe you're new, 5 years ago, 5.5 years ago, I started talking about more than 5.5, actually. 5.5 years ago, when I was telling people about you might want to get property offshore, you might want to start a business offshore outside of America or outside of a country that you're in. It doesn't really matter. It applies to almost every country. Um, you want something outside that you can control, because if your bank accounts get shut off, if your passport gets uh, tossed, for lack of a better word, where they're not going to honor it, um, if your credit cards are shut down and you have no way to do anything financially, you're screwed, right? It's pretty simple. It's not that hard. So, when I was saying what you should be doing, and my favorite one is what I talked about on Friday when I said, you guys, your passports may be shut off, right? And there are people that did get their passports shut off because we had a tolerant society where we had male, female, and something else on passports. So the new regime says, well, we're not going to go with something else. I'm just using something else because whatever. But the point is, it was something else. And so they said, oh, no, we're not doing the something else. Everybody who has that, your passport's revoked. You have to check M or F. Recently, in this last month, American citizens who had M or F tried to leave, passports revoked. This upside down world, ladies and gentlemen, could catch you. Just don't know when it's going to break. I've reached my all-time high, plus 22.6% for YieldMax wallet from my beginning 3 months ago after today's payout. Man, I'm very, very happy for you, because a lot of people would take 22% annually. I say this all the time. People will take 10%, 8%, and sit there and be happy. So that's 3 years for most people, and you're doing it in 3 months. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, F average, be legendary. You have to take a chance. There's no longer this thing about get a job, work for 30, get a pension, retire, have health care. All of that is in jeopardy. So, therefore, in this upside down world that you're being fooled, you're going to have to invest. You're going to have to take risk. And I will say something that is very, very, look at this right here. Tesla, 8.2% today, plus 8.2%. By the way, down below in the description box, you can find Robinhood, Webull, Moomoo, and Wealthfront. The first three, you get free shares of stock, but each one's different. Robinhood, one free share of stock. You don't have to do anything but download the app. Webull, you got to deposit, I believe it's up to $100 now. Then they'll give you anywhere from 5 to 15 free shares of stock. New people only. Moomoo, they're a little different. You have to deposit $100 or more and keep it in there for 3 months, and they'll give you anywhere from 5 to 15 free shares of stock, depending on the promotion that's going on right now. So use the links down below. It's the affiliate links. But some of you may be going, Eric, hold on. I don't care about the upside down world that the stock market is improving. I just want to set it and forget it and don't want to even deal with it at all. That's why there's Wealthfront down below, ladies and gentlemen. $500 up to $4,099. They don't even charge you a management fee. I know, it's pretty cool. The link is down below if you want to set it and forget it. Have you gotten your crypto for BTC and Ethereum yet? The way things are going, they're going to keep going higher and higher because the consumer nation is now entering crypto officially with stable coins. Circle, by the way, CRCL has went from $30, $40 in a matter of a couple of weeks to over $250. It might even have went up to 300. It's insane right now. This upside, a stable coin from something that does not exist. Unbelievable. Electronics. If you don't have electronics, you can't mess with crypto. If you don't have internet, you can't mess with crypto. So if the lights go out, electric grid goes out, sure, you'll have the money in your wallet. But if you don't have internet and can't get it downloaded, you're going to have a problem. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let me know what you guys are thinking out here, because once again, you know my favorite thing that I got to talk about all the rest of the year, findhelp.org. You want government grants, you need help with anything. United States citizens, you need to go to findhelp.org. Matthew Lesko, you might have seen him on late night TV for the last 40, 50 years. It looks like I got something in here. But nonetheless, I was out working on the doorbell today. New doorbell, one of the fancy new things that is electronic, makes all different kind of noises. The wife is out there doing all kind of crazy stuff with it, and she chose something that does not go ding dong. It starts playing some sort of music. I'm like, okay, this is different. Oh man. We got all kind of things going on out here, ladies and gentlemen. So what do I want to do? Findhelp.org, because it has so many things, even mental health. Even, like I say, one of my favorites is caregiver. We have a lot of boomers who are elderly and they need help. But family members who can spend thousands of dollars per month to take care of somebody, you're doing your best, but there's caregiver relief and help there. Mental health, even. There's help there. And there's help financially, even trying to buy a house, which is ill advised at this moment, unless you're going to turn it into rentals. But again, 80% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck right now. So unless that rental is going to cost them less money to rent, it kind of doesn't make much sense to just have one home, one structure. At this point, you need a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex. And as we have always said, go down FHA. And I always say all you need is 4% down. Everybody goes 3.5. I go, yeah, but there's fees and other things and that. So just call it 4% down, a 620 and up credit score. What's wrong with that, ladies and gentlemen? That's a lot of people that can qualify. Now, where can you find a decent deal where you can put down like 4% and have a 650 or 670, 680 and up credit score? Well, Midwest. I know. Indiana, Ohio, it's a killer type of thing. You're going to have a C. There's A, B, and C. You're going to have a C property. Let me get to this Tesla because it's sitting here, right? Tesla's been rolled out their robo taxis. It's been a disaster. Running into trains, running over the dolls in the street just to do R&D to see if it'll run over a doll in the street. And it did. SpaceX blows up again, which has something to do with Tesla because Tesla is being valued on robo taxis, robots, and space, even though they're not even the Tesla car. It's a Tesla brand. So all of this is happening. And today, up 8.2%. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, do not be fooled. You're going to have to play the game, but you're going to have to play it within your financial means. That's what I got. Okay. All right. I think I got that. I got to fly when I had the door open, messing around. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I got to do something real quick. Hold on. My daughter's calling me, so I'm going to play a video, and so I'll be back in a sec. Oh, can't do that. Oh, here it is. I'll be back in a second. All right. Jess. Uh-oh. Well, I was trying to play a video. I'm doing a live stream. What's happened? No, are you all right? Oh, I didn't see it pop up. I'll call you back later. All right. Bye. I love you. All right, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not able to switch. I did something. It said encountered an error, so I can't even do it. But anyhow, um, it wasn't a major situation, so it's all good. But nonetheless, all right, let's go. I want to hear what people have to say after my little diatribe. Coinbase stocks plus 24% last 5 days. Is that COIN? That's right. Are we talking about the Coinbase stock? Are we talking about the YieldMax ETF stock? Are we talking about Coinbase? Yes, all of that is happening, going up and up and up in the crypto market based on nothing but thin air. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Nothing but thin air. Crazy, 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 crazy. Joe Nay, another investor, is in the house. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he says, what's good, everybody? Oh, Feliz Lunes. In case you don't know, that's Monday in Spanish is lunes, ladies and gentlemen. Happy Monday is Feliz. All right. I had to put my phone down on the charger. Can y'all guess why? Raise the roof, salsa dance, notifications from YieldMax ETFs and other dividend funds. That's right, free money, ladies and gentlemen. You have to be in the game. And oh, by the way, the game starts at a low $2 entry point for YieldMax ETFs. You can go with, I can't remember which one's $2 or something. I think it's MRNY. And you can still get yourself 30% distribution returns because they do option income trading. That's right. In fact, let me go look it up real quick. I got to make sure it was MRN. Yeah, it is MRNY because Morrow, wait, yeah, that's right. I think that's what it is. I think Morrow's 20, right? Okay, let's go see. But anyhow, the salsa dance on the island, I'm pretty sure you're having fun, doing what you have to do. So, anyhow, I forgot a few things. Findhelp.org. Not only caregiver, there's more, a lot more. So go over there, check it out, because whatever you need, money, grants, even if you want to buy property, they have grants for that. All right. So don't sell yourself short. Oh, and no qualifying. They're nonprofits. So you just call, put in your zip code, go see. All right. And if you like that, there's more. There's more because Matthew Lesko has a group called Lesko, LAS. I'm sorry, hold on. LESKO, help.com. It's a group. And I suggest if you join the group, then pay either the 6 month or the 12 month because it does cost. It's cheap. But there's people, thousands, that help you with grants for whatever city and state that you're in that you don't even know about. They've actually been doing this for years with Matthew Lesko and that group of thousands. So if you say, hey, my car got jacked, I can't pay for it. Is there anybody in this state or city or county that I can get some help with payment for my vehicle? That's right. That's a thing, ladies and gentlemen. That's a thing. They actually have grants. They actually have nonprofits that can help you. It's crazy. I know. Dental, medical, visions, all the kind of things. You need help. There's help. But the government doesn't put it out there like, flashing lights. They make you go look. You got to go hunt. So go hunting, ladies and gentlemen, if you need some help. Findhelp.org. All right. And if you join the Matthew Lesko group, lescohelp.com, hey, just let them know. Eric, SSN Nation. Just say, Eric, SSN Nation. Told me to come over here. I need some help. All right. Or maybe you want to contribute. Let's call it what it is. You might want to contribute. All right. That would be excellent. All right. Let's get back to it. So here we go. EV says, have you got some Morrow under 20? Yes. Oh, wait. No. I couldn't resist, and I've got a few bags a day. Oh, my God. No, I was doing stuff, helping Familia. I was doing things with the home repairs. I mean, that's what's happening. So no, I did not look at anything. I just saw the stock market going. I got a report, notification talking about, oh, it looks like the stock market's in the green, and I'm like, how? Didn't the U.S. base just get hit overseas? Isn't there some sort of new war? Isn't what's happening over here? There's things that could get out of hand? That's a cause for celebration, and nothing else happened. I mean, like, what are we talking about? I'm like, rocket ships are blowing up, people are dying, American citizens are getting kidnapped. I mean, this is crazy. I'm looking for financial news that makes it make sense, where there should be a reason it goes up. Oil prices going down? How? Like I said, don't be fooled out here, ladies and gentlemen. This looks like a massive rug pull down the line. That's what it looks like to me. I smell rug pull. Now he's got me. Wait, what time is it? Oh, wait, that's overnight. That's 24-hour market, I believe. Oh my God. What do you mean under 20? That was a steal. Holy smokes. How did that happen? Oh my God. I gotta hold the you guys always get your pen, pad, and paper ready. And by the way, we got to show some love to our own, right? Who's out here working hard, trying to do their business. Look at this. Bitcoin rising again. This is crazy. This is crazy. All right, let me go look here, man. I can't even believe this. Are you kidding me right now? Hold up. No, I never saw it under 9. No, I never saw it under 20. No, but now I'm looking at it. Yup. 1930. Sheesh. Today at 12:40 p.m. See, this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen. You have to be at the right place at the right time. Now it's $20.85 at overnight after it went back up 75 cents. EV place, how could you resist? Seriously. Wow. That was a deal. A bargain. Joe Nay says these world leaders are talking about dropping nukes like it's cool. What's wrong with these Anglo-Saxons? Exactly. No problema with lives. No problem. We got 8 billion plus people on the planet. We need to knock off a few billion and get resources while we can. This is crazy. I like that, Joe Nay. I see what you're doing. I see it. You're damn right. Exactly. The hunters. Brian P., Mr. Dividend. I know you were sitting at the pad chilling with a big plate of food, some nice drinks, because all you heard was cha-ching, cha-ching with those dividends today. I know. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And he brings his tagline this evening. Happy day, Eric. Thank you. Happy day for you. I hope all is well with you. It's going, man. Happy day, SSN family. Smash that like button. Oh, yes, it's free. And if you like what we're talking about, please subscribe to the channel. Click the all notification bell. Let the YouTube gods know that you're in the house, Joe Nay. Nukes are now the other N word. Exactly. Exactly, man. Exactly, Joe Nay. That's exactly right. Check out your emails when you get time. Oh, you know what that means, man. I haven't checked my emails. Joe Nay, stocks are up. Oil is down. I just smashed that like button. Exactly. Exactly. I'm trying to figure out how, in what world do you have Iran, whose parliament yesterday votes, yeah, we need to close part of that or do something with that Strait of Hormuz. We need to disrupt the oil supply because that will hurt the United States and a few of their allies. But the next day, oils go down. I'm like, this is insane. Just like when Israel bombed Iran, Iran responded, oil prices went up, or did they go down? They went up on the first strike, goes down on the next strike. I'm like, what the heck is going on? A Middle Eastern war potentially. And we're sitting here with oil going down. On what planet, alternative universe, is this happening? And the Straits of Hormuz going possibly shut down. And they're like, oh no, that won't happen. We'll just ignore it. I'm just like, this is crazy. We are making money in here. I know Brian P. Mr. Dividend, he's making a lot of it, ladies and gentlemen, with these heat wave knocked out power in my hometown, Staten Island, aka Shaolin and Queens, New York City. New York City. Yep, that's it. Hey, you got millions of people in 100-degree weather. All ACs are running with humidity. You know, NYC back in the day, probably still to this day, going to be losing a lot of water. Fire hydrants used to be open. I'm just saying. Okay, we got paid tonight. Exactly, Brian P. Exactly. Passive income, folks. You got to get it while you still can. Because sooner or later, you may not have disposable income to even make investments. So think about it. Now's the time while you can. EV Place couldn't resist to buy a few more bags of XRP under what? Oh my. See, EV Place, this is why I got to start opening up some other things because again, I've been very, very busy having to do some home repair stuff. And so my days are like taking all these hours, so I don't pay attention. XRP under 2 would have been a win-win. Oh my God. Great pickups, EV Place. Great pickups. Sheesh. Speaking about details, be very careful when they updating your contract for property. They like to add some paragraphs like 2200 for title transfer at the end. I was able to ask them to remove it. Oh my God, EV Place. Which developer is doing this? See, this right here. All right, what can I tell you? You knew the shenanigans were going to happen. You have less people coming, less people buying, and nobody's going to be buying stuff that looks like $300,000 for a villa. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. $350,000 for a villa. There's going to be some buyers, the top 10, 20% who has the disposable income. But for the majority, there's no mass rush to go to a developing nation and go buy a $300,000, $350,000, $400,000 home when you can do that in America. You're not going to run out and buy a 2-bedroom condo for $250,000, $300,000 when you can do that in America. Now, if you think that you're going to be able to make investments and get a short-term rentals, then that's a whole nother ball game, because you better make sure that you have nothing but flashing lights that says amenities, amenities, amenities. Because if you have a downturn, amenities will matter. At least you have something to market than just regular old location. All right. That is crazy. We need to know the developer. EV Place. I can't remember where you own. Oh, wait, this is Blue Marlin. I hope you're not saying Blue Marlin's doing this, because that would be sick. Because those guys used to be like cool. This is what I expect right now. I still didn't make my video about the reef, Las Terranas, because Steve Green, I'm going to give him credit, because he said, hey, that Blue Terranas, because I said they had to do something with another company in the car. So I had the receipts for it. But again, I didn't make a video about it just yet, because I found another video about other people talking about situations that have come up in Las Terranas. So I said, oh no, I can't release this video yet. I got to add this too. So I'm going to make another video, because I didn't even know nothing about this other stuff. So now we're going to talk about that. This is sad. This is very, very sad right here. This is what Kana Bay is doing as well, when they're having people sign some sort of new agreement and people don't want to sign it. And now you're at an impasse, because if you have HOA who then says sign, and you don't want to sign, the HOA is going to try and pressure you somehow. Whether that's your fees are higher just because it's you. I mean, it might not be everybody gets their fees raised, but you damn sure is, along with everybody else who don't want to sign this stuff. And we're going to try to make your life a little bit harder. So you're going to sell your place, and then the new person that comes in has to sign this when they get their new place. So that's what they're going to do. This right here is out of line. $2,200 for title transfer at the end, but paid to who though? Hold on, EV Place. Maybe there's a little confusion, just to make sure we're on the same page. Here's the thing. If you have Comfort Tour, all right, and you do not have to pay the 3% transfer title. If you don't have Comfort Tour, then you got to pay 3% of purchase price for title. So we got to make sure that this isn't just they don't have Comfort Tour and you're going to pay the sales tax of 3%. Because if you're saying that they're asking for the re-up on a contract and it's going to cost you $2,200 for title transfer at the end, plus the 3% purchase price, oh hell no. All right, that's another thing all together. So thank you, EV Place, for mentioning this, because we have a lot of people that's purchasing property in the Dominican Republic and other developing nations. They all copy each other. Don't be fooled. Again, don't be fooled out here, ladies and gentlemen. Just because you're going, well, we're talking about Dominican Republic. Don't think like that. Some friends in Thailand all of a sudden started getting hit with, oh, now we're a condo hotel. I'm like, what? They have condo hotels there now? He's like, yeah, I didn't buy a condo hotel, but now it's a condo hotel. I'm like, oh my, okay. This sounds familiar. So just keep that in mind. All right, speaking of Israel, their main stocks index is going crazy during their wars. Exactly, EV Place. Exactly. Oh my, Avalon. Macau Hills? Are you kidding me right now? Oh my God, that's blue, isn't it? I mean, who does? No, it's not. Wait, did I read that wrong? You said Amazon, or did I say Amazon? Hold on a second. Avalon. Oh, okay, it's not blue. It's Avalon. Avalon adding 2,200 on the. Oh wow. So EV Place, you're gonna have to explain this totally. So are you saying Macau Hills came out with a new contract to do what? An updated contract? Is that what you're saying? Oh my, this is terrible. With those energy prices in DR, looks like the best amenities is free, unlimited AC. Exactly. Exactly. Hey, hey, let go hang out at go hang out at the office. I'm not talking about comfort tour. I'm talking about title transfer by their oh no, don't tell me it's their attorney, right? Okay. Okay. Now, when you start talking about this, attorneys charge, well, okay, they probably changed. It used to be 1% of the purchase price. Now, sky's the limit. You have less people. So now the fee goes up. So you might have to pay 1.5% or 2%. But again, EV Place did the right thing. He says, no, no, no. I don't need to pay you $2,200 because by rights, you're supposed to transfer title to me at the end of me purchasing this. If I'm not having to pay the 3% sales tax, then title's coming directly. You're supposed to do it included with the price that I paid you. I'm glad you brought this up, EV Place, because a lot of people do not realize that they should not be paying additional for title transfer because the original contracts that everybody almost has, I would say 90% of people, says that they're going to you're going to have a delivery. We're going to give you, when it's finished, we're going to send you, hey, it's delivery time. Then you have 60 to 90 days to finish your remaining amount to pay it off. And they're supposed to transfer title to you. It's not supposed to be additional fee. Damn right, EV Place. I'm glad you did that. I'm glad you caught that. That's cool. All right, Eric, they have cleared about a Nike deep across the street from my spot on the 3 dirt roads. Okay, I don't know what the Nike. They have cleared about. I don't know what the Nike. I can't. You're gonna have to tell me what the Nike part is, but I get it. They cleared the street across. They cleared about a something deep across the street from my spot on the 3 dirt roads. I can see all the way down to where people are building their own homes. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are we talking about towards J4? What am I saying? J6? Yeah, J6. Are we talking about out towards J6? Or are we talking about no? You can wait. Or are you talking about going back out to the main road? Wow. Either way, that's going to be impressive. This is what they told me was going to happen in 2020, ladies and gentlemen. It took them 5 years to get this up and operational. They told me, hey man, wait till you see all this stuff that's going to come right back out here on the other side of Christopher. It's going to be crazy out here. I'm not enamored with the area that much, but it is what it is. And the prices are excellent, especially if you want to hang out and live there. It's excellent. I don't know about short-term rentals at this point, but the prices are low. So you almost can't, and they're actually one of the few builders who are building. And let's face facts. We're talking about Jardines right now. They have a basketball court there. They have a pool there. They have seating areas. They're going to be bringing, they have the fitness room. They're supposedly going to be bringing in a restaurant, bar, and they have a ton of buildings. So it's cheap, though. It's still cheap. They're on Jardines 4. So why did I say 6? It's 4, right? Jardines 4 is next door. So they have lots of buildings already built. Some are for sale. But when you start talking about 70 grand, 100 grand or less, and an up and coming area, which they're actually putting in stores and all kind of stuff. It's pretty sweet. So I got to give them credit. All right, they're going right along. Here we go. Um, Wait, what did I see? 3% tax if not Comfort Tour is separate store. Exactly, EV Place. I was just making sure that the 2200 wasn't the 3%. So we're making sure, I was just making sure we're all on the same page and giving people information as well. So they know if there's no Comfort Tour, they're going to have to pay 3% sales tax for the transfer. So if you bought some for 100,000, no Comfort Tour, you got to pay $3,000 tax. All right. So now you're going to have to come to the table with 3,000. And then if you have to have an attorney, which oftentimes you do not because they're supposed to transfer the title to you after they receive payment, but most people feel comfortable with an attorney, you're going to have to pay 1% of purchase price or 1.5. I'm just saying. It used to be 1% back 4, 5, 6 years ago. Now it's 1.5. Maybe even be 2% by now. So just saying, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Joe Nay. There are also huge signs advertising lots for sale. This is gentrification on steroids. This place will look totally different in 1 year. Joe Nay, are we talking about by Jardines? Where we were talking about before gentrification, we knew that's happening because that's they have to level the whole area. That changes the whole landscape. It would be awfully nice if they changed that road to a 4-lane road, though. That would be good. Traffic situations would be better. But nonetheless, this was talked about. And look how it's been 5 years, 6 years almost. I mean, incredible. 6 years goes by, and there's only a few buildings. They cleared some areas. 6 years. But now the prices are right in that area. Now, is it good for tourism? I don't know because it's far away, but it's still in Punta Cana and it's in a location that is being gentrified. In case you don't know what that means the property values, like let's just say slums, let's just say ghettos, let's just say mobile home trash parks. And somebody comes in and says, I'm buying all this up because it's so cheap. And then they build high rise condos or 4,000 square foot villas or homes. They make it gated community. That's the kind of stuff that's gentrification because the property values have went so low that people can come and just swoop up a lot of the land and then tear it down, rebuild, charge people a nice price and still make a lot of profit because the land was so cheap. So that's how it works all over the world. All right, here we go. King Choice. Welcome to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. Faxi says, thank you so much for being here in the house tonight. That's what we talk about. Facts. Exactly. 1% will be 1,000. Right now, it looks like over 2%, 2,200 for my 100K villa. Exactly. Just for the title transfer. That's what I'm saying, though. EV Place, the developer should, in your previous contract, it says once you make that last payment, they're going to transfer title to you. No cost. Mostly all the contracts say that, but generally everybody has a lawyer. So the lawyer charges it could be 2% now, but 1.5 to 2% to do it. So just like in some contracts, there was a few contracts that came out early that had said, like at the beach, that said when you finish your last payment, you would have to pay our attorney. That was crazy. You have to pay our attorney to transfer title to you. And it was minimal. It was something like $400 at the time. This is 5 years ago or so. And I thought that was funny. But anything can happen out here. Anything. It's what the market will bear. And that's why your contracts have to be written. And that's why also EV Place said they sent him a new contract to sign with an added clause, such as that 2200 to title transfer, when they knew in the first one they didn't have it. And I'm glad you caught that, EV Place, or your attorney, whoever caught it. I'm glad you read your contract. A lot of people don't read the contracts. All right. You should read it a few times and make sure if you can't live with something, then you need to say, I can't live with this. And then they might go, well, so sad, too bad. You might have to go, well, so sad, too bad. I'm taking my money elsewhere. All right, King Choice. Hey, Eric, have you gotten any brand new news about the Beach City Place in terms of investors taking legal action over that predatory poison pill in the contract? Okay, King Choice. No. There's some owners that have sued them. There is no group of owners. So go to Facebook, go to the beach group. All right. And you'll hold on a second. Hold on. The Beach City Place group, I think. Hold on. I'll pull it up in a second. Hold on. It's a group or is it a page? I think it's a group. And people will be taught. You can actually, it was already been talked about over the last year because people all of a sudden got their prices increased by 20%. Just we knew that was coming, right? And people were upset. And also their square footage, I think what was it, 2.55, something like that per square meter. And then they're charging like 1 point something for the terrace, which is crazy, right? Crazy. So yeah, go online. I don't know if you've been online for that. Um, so let me see if I can pull this up because then I can tell you exactly where it is. Beach. Oh wait, beach. What is it? City Place, right? Okay, the beach at Punta Cana City. That's the group. Unit owners. You got to put in your unit. You got to put in your unit number. They'll ask you questions before you'll get approved. Uh, okay, hold on. Can't do it. I was gonna try and share, but I can't. Um, yeah, it's called Unit Owners hyphen the beach at Punta Cana City Place. It has 276 members in there. Go join. And then there's some discussions of people getting lawyers and all this other stuff. And oh, by the way, at the beach, that Palmera condos, they're now going to be Hilton. And Hilton is doing what that Avalon has done to EV Place, giving them some sort of contract to sign and saying that all the people that thought they bought a condo at Palmera is now a condo hotel. So people are balking about that, of course, and they don't like what the contract says either. But yeah, that's the best I can do for you, King Choice. Go over there, unit owners hyphen the beach at Punta Cana City Place on Facebook. It's a group, private group, 276 members, but everybody has to be an owner. You have to put in your unit number and things like that. So I can't give you an invite link, unfortunately. I was going to post it in the chat room, but I can't. But that's how you'll find it. All right. There may be even more, but that's the first spot you can go to. All right. Hopefully that helps. All right. Now let's get down. Nike should be mile. Oh, mile. What? Are you kidding me right now? A mile? Holy smokes. Wow. Eric, I can send you a screenshot from that contract if you'd like to check it out. Yeah, please, man. Support at stopstrugglingnow.com. Support at stopstrugglingnow.com. And yeah, it was MRNY is $2.25 for their shares. Dividend yield distribution is what, about 60% is their distribution yield for them. Their stock price, let's just see, it's been wavering this year. The last, ever since April, it's been in the $2, but it's gone down. So that's the downfall that you have if the stock for this option income strategy, if there's not a lot of volatility, that's not good for option income stock price. So sometimes there's a trade-off. So if you buy at 225, 230, 240, 250, and it stays from 230 to 210 even, and they're still going to give you a distribution of around 5% a month, that pays off. But if it starts at $5 and now it's $2.50, you've lost 50%. So even if they do give you 60%, that may not be a good thing. But nonetheless, you can actually buy the stock mRNA directly instead, and you don't have to worry about the dividends. But yes, support at stopstrugglingnow.com. That would help out greatly. Brian P. Hey, Eric, here is some from the emails. Uh-oh. Here we go. By the way, he knows good and well what I have to go through to log in. I'm like, I got to do all kind of crazy stuff. It's funny. But I'll log in because you never know. We might have some pertinent information because Brian P., Mr. Dividend, is kind enough to send me over some valuable information that we need to talk about that he finds throughout. And I know I'm going to need my phone. So that's why I'm tapping my phone, looking around, because this new business accounts, emails, they got like 4 checks to make sure it's you. It's crazy. But hey, at least that's better than worst case scenarios. Getting hacked and some worse things than that. Georgia roofer is out 12,000 after State Farm approved homeowners claim, then refused to pay out in full. Third world country. This, don't be fooled, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, by world events, upside down to financial freedom. Again, insurance is iffy. And now it's going to be even more iffier than ever because the real deal is there's a lot of bad stuff going on underneath the stock market in the real world. So the stock market, you have to be in it because the top 20, top 10%, that's their playground. So you can ride the wave. But being out here as an ordinary citizen in OC, you got a lot to worry about because that right there is insane. This is surprising to who? I'm sure nobody, because we all know insurance is one of the biggest scams on the planet because they have blockers. You have to call for a claim and then they can say we're not going to accept the claim, meaning we're not going to do any payout, which seems like this is what happened here. This is incredible because you have to call in to get approval. You have to send them your invoice. You have to send them the claim. You have to say, hey, we're going to charge this guy X amount of dollars. They got insurance. Here it is. And they got to sign off for the 12 grand. The fact that they're not signing off means just what a third world country does. Sue me, bro. Knowing full well the court case isn't till when, right? Same scenario. So now they have done the work. The homeowner sitting there like, okay, what can I do? I had insurance, and I don't know what the repercussions are going to be from this, other than the most likely. And unfortunately, the homeowner is going to get screwed because either the guy's going to waste money going to court, or He's going to put a lien on the man's home because he's going to try and get paid eventually. But either way, his blood, sweat, tears is not getting uh, any type of earning for it. So that's a problem. But this is America. You guys don't know where you live. All right. There's a declining empire right before your very eyes. So, what can I tell you? Insurances aren't going to pay out. So, just like right now, when the hurricanes, tornadoes, and all this stuff happens, they'll pay out a few people, but the majority of people are going to get half-ass payouts. And then, of course, you're going to be mad. Then, of course, you're going to try and sue. And good luck. Good luck. So that's a whole nother game that is, like I said, if you can't depend, you cannot no longer depend on insurance. That ball game is over. It's already, that ship has already sailed. This is why don't be fooled out here by world events, and don't be fooled by a stock market that goes up regardless of what happened in world events, because out here in the real world, all of this type of stuff is happening. You got executives at banks taking people's money out of their bank accounts, getting 5 to 10 years in jail, and don't have to pay it back. So meanwhile, these people are out for life. Nobody's stepping in. No insurance, no FDIC, nothing. This is going on in America so much. It's a third world country, but you don't know it yet until something happens. Then you find out, like, wait, what? Wait a minute. You just don't pay my claim for my car wreck? You don't pay any? What are you doing? My house just got burnt up. I got insurance for 20 years. Here it is. It says you're going to cover this up to a certain amount. And then they tell you, well, we only are approving half. Well, the half isn't enough in today's money to repair everything. Well, so sad, too bad. Sue us, bro. I mean, that seems to be the motto. That's a developing nation's motto. Instead of doing the right thing, map shows states where drinking water contamination is highest. Oh, damn, man. Oh, damn. Damn. Don't do this, man. Don't do this. Hold on. Where can I get this stuff? This is sick. This is sick right now, Brian P. Mr. Dividend. Come on, you guys. Smash that like button so more people won't be fooled and understand where you live. Propaganda is one hell of a drug. This right here, this is like 1900, 1830, 1875, 1920, when rivers in America were catching on fire because of all the toxic waste inside the river. Fresh water, by the way. Catching on fire. Think about in Pittsburgh Steeler land. What's this ash? What's this ash falling back in the day? 1950s, 1960s, 1970s. Ash kills people. No big deal. It's all good. Let's just build a major city around here. I mean, Jesus. It's ash because of all the industrial revolution going on. I mean, it's crazy. Yeah, here it is, man. Georgia roofer, $12,000 after State Farm decides not to play. Wow. Wow, that is the worst thing ever. Oh my God. Heavy wind damage in 2021. Jeez. Wow. I'm pretty sure State Farm's going to have some sort of nice made up story when it's very simple. I pay a premium. I'm supposed to have coverage, but this is even worse. They got approval for the homeowner's claim. Put the roof on. State Farm only approved the replacement of 38 shingles and estimated the cost of $1,400. Oh my Less deductible. Claim without paying, according to Atlanta News First. But Garrick Patties, that's a Garikapati. Jeez. Roofer David Garner disputed the insurance company's assessment. It was torn all to pieces. Garner told the local broadcast the roof's condition. More than 70 shingles were creased or missing. Oh my. Thanks to Jeff Bezos, you can now become a landlord for little. Okay. Wow. Wow. Garner, along with public adjuster, spent years trying to prove to State Farm that Karakapati's roof proving a replacement on April 5th, 2024, more than 3 years after the claim. That is insane. Wow. Wow. Here it is. I haven't put it on the screen, but I won't. When a contractor does work on a home and isn't paid for it, they may be able to place a lien on the home. However, Garner doesn't want to do that to Karakapati. That is the roofer, which that was awfully nice of him, knowing it wasn't his fault. But there's a lot of other roofers that would have put a lien on the house. That is a travesty. Nobody's coming to save you, ladies and gentlemen. The government's not going to make them pay, nor can they force them to. So it's terrible. It's terrible. I got your email, EV Place. Thank you so much, man. I'm going to check it out. I'll be talking about that as well. Macau Hills. Is that the condos or the villas? I guess it'll be either one because Macau Hills is the same thing. Spotlight on Maryland confronts woman associated with advertised squatter homes on YouTube. Oh my. Wow. Wow. That is no joking matter. And what's this world coming to when Tucker Carlson starts sounding like he's reasonable about this Israel situation with the United States going in to blast Iran for Israel? And Netanyahu has been talking about since 2003, 10, 12, 15, 18, 20, that Iran has weapons of mass destruction and they're going to be imminent, that they're going to be able to get a nuclear weapon for the last 25 years. Wow. Why didn't they just go do it themselves? They already bombing everybody, but they didn't have the bunker busters allegedly, which is very interesting. Map shows where drinking water contamination is the highest. I don't. Detroit, Michigan. Yikes. My God, this is bad. We even have my state of Cali might even be on here. Let's see. Map shows where drinking water contamination is the highest. All right, here. I'm going to have to bring this one up, probably. That's terrible, man. Terrible. Terrible. Thousands of pounds of popular cereal brand recall for containing metal. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if you don't believe you live in a third world country, I don't even know what to tell you because this stuff right here just keeps coming up. This is an everyday thing. There's recalls every day. They don't put it on like a PSA on the news. Some news stations will be like, hey, there's a recall. But there's so many other things that go by the wayside that's why people are ill, people are killed, they're dying, and there's lots of mutations of things. And the doctor's sitting there going, I've never seen this before. There's reasons for all of this. When you're taking in plastics, microplastics in your body's going to react badly. People are getting sick from water, from plastics, damn near from the air, toxic chemicals. I mean, you have to get somewhere safe, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know where that is. I think you might have to start worrying about in America your drinking water, your supply of food at the grocery store. I mean, it's crazy right now. Crazy. Nissan Motor Acceptance Company submits application to form Nissan Bank US. Oh, okay. They always had. Wait a minute. In order to submit for a bank, you have to have a regulatory approval. Well, first of all, you have to do. You got to jump through a lot of hoops. You actually have to have a deposit of millions of dollars. Then you have to. There's several things you have to do. I just can't remember the sequence. But the point is, you can't just be an acceptance company where you give people credit and all of a sudden turn into a bank. You have to get regulatory approval for that, and they have to go through your officers and a bunch of things. I mean, nobody's just going to be able to do that normally. Nissan was talking about going out of business. This is insane. According to my lawyer, 1,000 is a market and fair price for transfer. EV Place, what was the purchase price? Well, your lawyer can do the transfer unless they're saying you have to use Avalon's lawyers. With Avalon, they were trying to change my delivery date. So we are talking about updated pre-contract with right delivery date, but extra paragraph with 2,200 transfer fee. Read contract a few times. Yeah, they're going to be high. This is what everybody's doing, man. In everywhere, in America, in DR, in Thailand, it don't matter. Everywhere they're doing this because when the economies go down, then United States and Canadian consumers are like, go around the world and buy a lot of stuff. And whenever there's a down cycle from North American continent, that's a down cycle around the world pretty much. And unfortunately, it's worse for Canadians. 85% of Canadians are living paycheck to paycheck during the course of a month. That's insane. It's even 5% higher points than in the US. So think about this. You have two of the most consumer nations on the planet, and 85% or 80 to 85% of their populations are living paycheck to paycheck, no disposable income. But we got credit cards. We got credit cards. Oh my God. It's insane what's happening. This upside down world. Do not be fooled because your financial freedom is now. You can't sit around and wait. Joe Nay, I did that experiment with cereals and a strong magnet a few years ago. Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't eat cereal, ladies and gentlemen, just so you know. You shouldn't be eating cereal, in my opinion. And you might want to consider less consuming of milk. What mammal consumes milk their entire life? None. Only a human with a brain. That should tell you something. Animals have brains too. And they say, no, no, no. Not part of evolution. Jonay, I did that experiment with cereals and a strongman a few years ago from EV Place. Wow, I didn't even know that was a thing. Purchase price 100K. Yeah, so exactly. Back in the day, which could be now, if you have the right attorney, it'll be $1,000. That's exactly right. But at the same time, Macau Hills in their previous contract, I'm pretty sure said after you give us the last payment, the remaining 40 or 50%, then we deliver title to you. There's no price. They're supposed to deliver title to you. I'm just saying. I am just saying. EV Place, so we will all end up leaving with Canadians on DR. Exactly, man. Exactly. No, what this means is the top 20%, the top 15%, and then of course there's always the upper middle class. So we get to the top 20, right? To top 25. There's going to be pieces, right? In between. That's still a lot of people. If you still say 25% of people are doing okay because they have a second or third job or they had a two-person household making six figures each and stuff like that, then okay, you're still going to be fine because a quarter, you'll still take 100 million, right? You'll still take that. You'll still take 75 million. United States citizens traveling around the world, that's a lot of money. Just, I mean, 75 million, just times that by what's the average? Like $6,000 on vacation trips or something. I think it's 4,000 something, but it depends on which country you're going to. But let's just call it $6,500 times 75 million. That is a lot of money worldwide, even. So that's where we're at. Yeah, exactly. So we're going to find out that they haven't even released the numbers yet. I was trying to get the May 2025 numbers. The Minister of Tourism, here it is, June 23rd, 2025. They haven't released the numbers unless they came out today. So whenever they don't release the numbers, that generally tells me don't expect anything spectacular. I expect the same amount of air travel as last year, if not less. If it's plus or minus 10%, that's not going to be good enough for people that have invested, because plus or minus 10% does not get you to another million passengers by air this year, which is what you need. This is what we need in the DR. And again, you can't just keep ringing a bell going tourism, tourism, tourism. You're going to have something else that goes with it. So when people come visit, they're going to see some sort of improvements, some things that they feel comfortable with. And unfortunately, we're in a season now where it might rain here and there. And then next thing you know, like one of my pet peeves is flooding. I'm like, why are we flooding when you know it rains? This has been a thing ever since the island's been here. So why aren't you updating your sewer after you've got all these properties and buildings and everything coming in? You have to. And speaking of sewer and water, you have to, right? No, water is contaminated, which is bad. Okay, back to the contaminated water. Um, Wait a minute. Where's the map? Here we go. All right. Um, okay. I don't know what the map means. Uh, oh, whoa, whoa. Population, arsenic levels. Oh, they're talking about arsenic. This is in some parts of Cali, Washington State, Colorado. Is that Illinois? Jesus, Michigan. Oh, geez. Uh, let's see. New York, West Virginia. It looks like around Nashville or something. Wow. And then light, well, participant number 500. So it depends, but hey, that's bad. The study conducted 14,000 pregnancies across 35 cohort sites participating in the National Institute of Health. JAMA, okay, this is crazy. Oh, wow. You know what? Here, you guys can go check this out yourself. Again, this affects money. This causes a problem, ladies and gentlemen, around the world and here in America. No matter where you are, when you have problems with your society, that means it costs the people who make money to certain financial things that are going to have to make up for that. So when somebody goes, oh, the homeless people, or the veteran who doesn't get what they needed, all that hurts your overall society. Your society's only as good as how you're able to take care of the less fortunate, because the less fortunate is going to grow, right? Because people are going to go down. A business is lost. Let's call it 15 people lost their jobs. Out of that 15 people, somebody's not going to find another job. So now they're going to lose. Could it be their house? Could it be eviction from an apartment? Could it be losing a car? Which now means the car salesman and the car lots have less people. Now you have less workers there. So therefore, it starts going down. So once you realize this in the capitalist system, that's why you realize you're going to live in a third world country. You just don't know it yet, is why I've been saying this for the last 30, 40 years. But I thought I would see a third world country after I died. I didn't think it was going to be in my lifetime, and it looks like it's going to be in my lifetime because we can't pay our debt. So sooner or later, the rest of the world is going to be going like, well, why are we giving these guys the stewardship to have world currency? Sooner or later. And they're putting pieces together right now when they start talking about BRICS and things like that. So just be very, very careful. That's why you have to have assets. All right, Eric, search for DR rare earth minerals, deal with USA. I don't know they have rare earth. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, but that's not going to help anything. You know who's going to get it, right? That's the thing. The United States or some other foreign power are going to have those whatever 100 workers making 50, 80,000, 120, 150, 200, $300,000 a year, and they're going to live the high life in their own little gated community enclave. Um, like the baseball player A-Rod. No, we're going to bring in billions of dollars. I'm like, so what? All you're going to do is build your own gated community enclave and bring in some stores around your enclave that general people can't afford to go shopping in the first place. And they can't afford to really live in where you live. Vin Diesel talks about when he's going to have his studio over there. We ain't seeing none of it. He talked about that one in 2022 or 2021. Again, it's the same rules. You still have to live in an infrastructure environment. So now you have to go, hey, what's the water like? Oh, well, we don't have water treatment plants here. So you can't drink the water. In fact, you might not want to even shower in the water. These are the type of things that it's like, hold on a second. I'm going to bring all this stuff over here. I'm going to spend a lot of money. And now I got to worry about all this extra stuff that you take for granted. If you live in America, that is. But even America is not as what it used to be. Water is bad for you. Food is bad for you. Same thing. But there's a whole, because you have meanwhile, the population, it's on average 9,000 a year, 12,000 a year, or $25 a year. That's the average income for a year in the DR. So who's making all the money? Well, all the owners of those resorts and these gated communities that they build up, developers. I mean, they make money, but there's what 11, 12 million people in DR. What about the other 11, 10 million people that has to survive? That's the problem. And to do what they've been doing over the last 6, 7 years, absolutely nothing, in my opinion. I mean, putting up highways, expanding lanes on a highway. Okay, come on, man. That's nice. But water, sewer, garbage, all that needs to be handled seriously. All right, I got off topic, but I just had to. I just got off topic. I'm sorry, guys, because it's so sad to watch. They had everything set up for them. Record tourism, record growth from 2019, 2020. They had COVID. 2021 started ticking up. And then 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024, all-time record high tourism. And now that there's something going on with their 60%, 60 to 65% of their base, which is Canadian and USA citizens combined, is usually 60 to 65% that come visit every month. They're the ones that had the money. So if you take 6, 7 years and you say, I don't need to make sure that the electrical grid is all good, and we don't need to make sure SEPN isn't like the monopoly on the island because that energy cost is running people away. I mean, that's insane. All right, let me get this up. I actually looked it up. How come I didn't get it? That's crazy. All right, hold on a second. USA and DR deal for rare earth minerals. You know, who has rare earth minerals? Haiti. Do you know who also had gold? Haiti. Do you know who also had other resources? Haiti. Do you guys understand the history of Haiti? They got invaded by the United States, the Spaniards. The United States in the 1920s, 1930s invaded them, took the gold, said we're here to help. Just like we've been over in Haiti to help with all kind of millions of dollars of nonprofits and all that. And it's funny. It doesn't like that DR deal. Hold on a second. Oh, okay. These efforts include agreements. Hold on. Let me get the actual agreement. Dominican Republic. Let me go see what this is. Okay. Um, the U.S. and Dominican Republic are collaborating. Notice the key word collaborating on rare earth element exploration. Okay. With the focus on potential exploration of these critical minerals within the DR. There's some in Haiti. But okay, the U.S. Department of Defense, in partnership with the Department of State, is providing technical assistance to the DR. You guys don't know who America is? I mean, this exploration thing that you think is all innocent, don't let some mother lode hit. Look at this. The U.S. Army Engineer Research and Development is assisting the Dominican Republic in search for REEs. So, like I said, I didn't realize they had that much, if any, but we do know who does, Haiti. So that's why they've always been a war torn country because their resources have been extracted. Um, State miner, the Dominican Republic has created a state owned mining company. Okay, great, but you still got to find those REEs. And who's going to be bringing that equipment? REEs are vital for various technologies. Dominican Republic identified the Avila Mining Reserve in Pedernales province as a potential area. Okay, I don't go by these exploration agreement things. Um, they say there's something that's in Pedernales. That's great. You guys, first of all, you guys have to understand how much exploration costs. They're using the word exploration, so that means they are already saying we think this is down here. We think we have X amount, but we'll find out. But you know who else has rare earth is China. A lot of it. United States actually has limited amount. I'm pretty sure on every continent under a plate, there's all these necessary nutrients. I'm pretty sure. So rare earth, maybe you might not need most of it. Seeking to diversify sources of critical minerals and reduce reliance on any single country, particularly China. Yeah, China's got a ton. Rare earth minerals. Let's see. Identify and access to. Yeah, so this is nothing but a hunt. And the U.S. is actually helping them. Now, you know why the U.S. is helping them, right? Because if something is found, it's going to be strong armed. Let's get real. let's get real. Look at the country that's next to you is Puerto Rico. I wish people would study Puerto Rico and find out. I would, you know what? You know what? I feel like it tonight because all this foolery that goes on around here, there's history that's known. And somebody made one hell of a video. Again, I used to live in Puerto Rico when I was growing up, so I was very fortunate. It was, yes, factories, they had technology. That was a third world country, so to speak. And they took advantage. The United States, that's why they never made it a state, but they took advantage, made them a territory. So you have to understand one thing. If you're on an island, you have a government, but you can't do your own tariff deals with another country. You can't have your ships coming in and out to go anywhere they want. They made ships from America that Puerto Rico had to actually go through because that's an embargo to go deal with any other boats that come there and do trading. So these type of things were restrictive. So the whole time they were basically, which is what it is now, they used the United Puerto Ricans as labor, cheap labor. That's all they did. Um, hold on. I'm gonna put a link down. You guys should check this out. You're gonna be like shocked. You're gonna be like shocked. You're gonna be like, this can't be. This is a, and you don't understand where you live. You don't understand what what the United States government does. But let's get real. These lessons are the European way. That's the lessons. They always take resources and try to take over, and they do because they loan money, they do all this stuff, and it looks good. Here's some money. We'll take over. We'll give you some profits, and then that will give you some profits part never materializes. It's very, very bad. Let me see if I can find it. Doggone it. I posted it on the YouTube under post. Ah, here it is. Here it is. Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen. Yes. I'm going to wait a minute. Hold on. What's this? Wait. Where is it? This is the post. You guys should really check this out because they're going to do the same playbook. That's why I don't understand Dominican Republic why they're going to act like America's not America. That's what I don't get. All the islands, Puerto Rico, Haiti, Jamaica, Bahamas, all of the islands, even Grenada, which is crazy, right? Extraction of resources for cheap labor is the name of the game. Let's get real. European way, that's their thing. So here we go. I'm going to put this down here right now. Check this out if you guys want an eye opener. This is what America does. Why do you think Cuba's in their situation? Because they've had an embargo for the last, what, 50 years? No diplomatic ties, even though they're 90 miles south of Key West. But we have Guantanamo Bay over there, right? Military prison. But the country is left in 1950s, right? It's crazy, crazy. All because they want to have their sovereign rights. But again, that's what this is about. It's disgusting when you think about it. And that's why you have to put yourself in position to win, ladies and gentlemen. Nobody's coming to save you. Welcome, Tamara Larry, another investors in the house to the SSN Nation Money Making Monday live stream. And tagline this evening, hello all, hello to you and the family. Very, very happy to see you here on this Monday night. Cha-ching, cha-ching, Tamara Larry. I believe if you have certain amount of yield max ETFs, So dividends are coming in today, tonight. It's all good. EV place. Depends how badly corrupted is DR government. They could invest in an infrastructure at least. Exactly, EV place. That's been my little thing. After 6 years go by, I'm like, how is it that you don't see any real other than highways and roundabouts, gentrification? Yes. Developers, yes. But as far as seeing roads dug up so you can lay some new pipe down so you can have different flows or better electricity or better cable, better internet, water, and all that, that's very slow. And where are you going to get the money from? So that's the million dollar question. Tourists can't be your only resource, just like Las Vegas right now. They're going to have a problem because Canadians and United States citizens are living paycheck to paycheck. So they have to rely on foreigners to come. But due to what our country's doing, where foreigners are getting hemmed up, come from Australia, you're getting hemmed up. Don't matter. Come from Germany, you're getting hemmed up. Come from Canada, you're getting hemmed up. So there's less people willing to try to get detained or hemmed up, flown back without being able to go on their vacation. So you have less people. This isn't going to end good for places like Vegas, for instance. There's going to be less travelers, less people spending money. And so, what does Vegas do? You do what a business has to do. I'm going to start charging you for parking. I'm going to start adding resort fees. I'm going to start making $60 buffet per person. I'm going to start charging you to come to our rooftop pools. I'm going to start charging you for coming to our Sunday DJ pools. That is the sign of a declining empire when everything is almost a la carte. It's not thrown in anymore, and they double the price. So now you're paying twice as much for room with the resort fees. Then when you park your car, they're going, "That's some money to us, please." You go in and get your drinks, they're going, "Oh no, this isn't free. You haven't played long enough anymore." All of this is a sign that they have nothing left. So unless something changes and somehow people start going to Vegas again in mass amounts of numbers, there's going to be a lot of layoffs, and it's already started because casinos aren't going to be able to survive. Same thing. You can't just keep going. Well, just make money, make money. That's not how it works. Doesn't work that well. I highly suggest all investors, not so much that it has much to do with investing, but you should understand when you have powerful nations, what they do to island nations such as a Puerto Rico, which is a USA territory, Guam, a USA territory, right? So think about all that. And then you have to start going, well, those are human beings. What's the difference between them and what they could do to you here in the United States? They're just doing it on the island, so it's not like it's a state that people are going to pay attention to. It's just like, oh, it's just an island where, you know, it's no big deal. They're not even citizens, which they are, but that's how they portray it. They're just a territory. They're not a state. What do you expect? I'm like, what do you mean? I expect water, sewer, electricity. Is that asking too much? A hurricane comes and you tell me a year or 2 years later, all what do they got? They only have a few million people left on the damn island, of course, because if you're without water, no schools, no nothing in the USA territory and not giving them money, they're starving you out. So again, if they're doing that to people that are citizens, you're a citizen of the United States. Why wouldn't they do it to you? And we're here, 80% of the population living paycheck to paycheck. So again, check out that video. You guys are going to be like, oh, wow, now you understand why America now is going to go talk to Dominican Republic. Because why else? Oh, you're going to let us build casinos over there? Tax cut, tax breaks, otherwise known as Confiture? Beautiful. Great. And I don't have to worry about busting the law. By the way, Uvera Alta. I shouldn't even be talking about this, but I have to. Uvera Alto, I went out there checking out some land, and I didn't realize that we were driving down the backside going to, like, the offices of one of the all-inclusives, and when we were going down the street, it started smelling like, sewer. So I'm like, we drive, like, because these lots are, the land is probably, well, they're already 3 or 400 meters long. So as we're driving down here behind these places, the beach is up there. I mean, it's a long way up. So I would say at least 3 or 4 football fields at least. And so we're back here, and I start smelling this stuff, and so I'm sitting back there, and I'm like, "Man, it smells just like sewer back here. What's going on?" Because I thought they had sewer. This is an all-inclusive resort with thousands of people. Come to find out, they're on a septic system. I'm like, "Are you kidding me right now?" This place has been out here for like 5 to 10 years. Septic system with thousands of people that you guys have there during high season every night. Then we're coming back, and I noticed on the right-hand side that there was like a hill. And I was like, "That's kinda weird." And then there was an opening where the hill was lower. It's like a garbage site. All the dumpsters, all the stuff, the waste is going, it's like a garbage site across the street. And I'm like, that's when I really started understanding what's going on around here, and that's when I went to the what we'll call a ghetto, right? And that's when we're on a paved street. We go down about a mile, and then all of a sudden the paved street ended, and I was like, "What the hell is this?" And it was a dirt road, and that's when I was like, "Wait a minute." So this whole time I'm thinking everything looks nice, it's built up, the driveways are all good, but when we got a mile down, all of a sudden, dirt road, and it was different. So that's when I started realizing, I'm like, "Oh my god, hold up a second. What are these guys out here really doing?" So anyhow, that's why if you're gonna invest in DR, you better do the amenities, 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 and get yourself in a good location. Now, Joe Nay comes in tonight, he starts talking about a location that's doing, gentrification right now. He's very happy with this gentrification, I'm sure, because he owns over there. He got in cheap, so his property value can go over as long as they keep smashing everything down, and he said about a mile down. That's a lot. You can get something, a one-bedroom for 60 grand, a two-bedroom for 80, 90 grand, and call it a day. That's pretty good, and have amenities on site. It's worth a look, right? Depends how badly, yeah, and wait, how badly? Both governments are corrupt. That's the problem. They're talking about rare earth minerals. Meanwhile, they're just looking for the money because remember, the United States is gonna fund them. They're gonna say, "Okay, here's whatever." I don't know what the number will be. It could be $200,000,000. So everybody gets a little piece. Here we go, Brian P. Florida condo owners hit with skyrocketing HOA fees find relief as a new bill hits Governor DeSantis' desk. Man, that would be awesome. That would be so awesome if DeSantis actually woke up and did something because again, we're in Florida. I'm not in Florida right now, but in Florida, you got a insurance situation that has been brewing and is off the charts since 8 years ago. He did nothing. You had the condo association knowing full well that they had to do this new certification. Like 5, 6 years back, they knew the law was coming for a certain age of your condo that you were going to have to go through a certification process. Knowing full well if something was built in 1980 or 1970 and they haven't really kept it up, it's going to cost millions of dollars. and you expect the HOA, which are owners of the complex, to pay when somebody comes back and says, "Oh, that'll be $3 million." I mean, each person, your special assessment's $130,000. Otherwise, we're going to do a foreclosure because you're not paying your HOA fees. All of this was coming, did nothing. Then the insurance companies left because of all of the hurricanes that's hitting there and all the payouts, massive payouts. Property's not cheap in Florida anymore. So what they did, filed bankruptcy, leave, left people hanging. Now there's, who knows, three, four insurance companies if you're lucky. And even if you do find one that'll take you, and they start doing this 7 grand, 10 grand a year kind of thing, and mandatory, your roof needs to be fixed if it's 15 years or older. You have to have flood insurance, even though you live in a condo on the 13th floor. Mandatory flood insurance. I mean, this is crazy. Did nothing for the last 6 years, 7 years about it. Just let it keep going. So I can't pull it up. Oh, wait a minute. Maybe I can. Oh, wait. Okay. I want to see that one. I want to see what he's doing. So what did he do? That's what I want to know. I see the Nissan Bank thing. That's crazy. How are they even going to get approval? They're Japanese. I don't get it. Um, Major U.S. airlines are selling your data to the U.S. Department of Homeland Security. I told you guys. I told you this was a matter of time. I told you guys. You think your passport's going to get you out of here or in here? You're going to have to another thing coming. All right. Enough of the I told you so's. I just hate to be right, but you knew where we're going. Because you're going to have to keep United States citizens here, just like how you have to keep women in the state when they're to cover their body, make sure they can't leave. Three GOP states are trying to make laws where they can track a woman who's pregnant when she leaves the state. And then they have trying to make laws that if she has a complication and loses the child, they're going to charge her with murder or something along that line. I'm like, this is getting way, way out of whack. Way out of whack. So just keep all that in mind. Lawyer Tom Girardi sentenced to 7 years for stealing millions from clients to fund Bravo star wife's career. You guys, this Real Women's of Housewives, the Shaws on Sunset, these rich dudes on these TV shows. It's reality TV. It's not real. All right. Apprentice was not real. It's all fake. Their job as a producer on the TV show is to make people, they prop them up. Sure. These guys get like, let's go with Housewives. I mean, these guys get like 60,000, 75,000, 100,000 per episode. So you would think, but remember on these shows, they act like they have the $1 million house. They act like they have these $200,000, $300,000 cars. And since they're making that money, they actually buy that stuff. Remember, those are liabilities. So once there's a chink where they say, well, we're not going to give you this amount of money anymore, now you got problems because you did credit. Um, you really weren't doing what it appears because it's made for TV in the best light. It's fake. All right, enough. I'm on a whole nother binge, and it's because of Joan Nate and Brian P. They know how I am. I hate to see people get abused because the system is making it possible. That's why I hate this because the government is supposed to be for the people, to protect the people, make everything better, not just make a few people better. So you're out here struggling And you got a government that's saying, "Oh, well, he's struggling at 50%. Why don't we step on the scale and make him struggle at 70% with no way out?" That's what's crazy. All right. Um, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna keep going down this path. I know people don't like me talking about it, but it's the deal. You're gonna have to worry about it. There's no way that you can just sit there and idly by. You're gonna have to worry. It affects you financially, whether you believe it or not. Every action, ICE is out here doing all this stuff, right? Who's paying for ICE? Who's paying for DHS? Who's paying for all these people? And after they have these detention centers, who's paying for the detention centers for hundreds of thousands of people? Who's paying for the private jets to take these so-called criminals out of the United States citizens and others on a plane ride to Sudan, on a plane ride to Venezuela, on a plane ride to wherever? Who do you think's paying for that? That hasn't come out of citizens' pockets. So when you're like rah rah shish kumbah, well, you better think twice because now you're taking working people outside of America where now somebody has to replace those jobs. Those jobs are paying $12 an hour. Who's going to take them anyhow? We had people who's going to say, "Oh, I'll take the $12 an hour. I'll take the $15 an hour." So now what? That's not a livable wage. So now what? Now you don't have your produce, you don't have workers, you don't have a bunch of things, and somebody has to replace them. And unfortunately, there's not that many people that's going to. So again, somebody's going to be filing bankruptcy. Somebody's not going to get paid. Here we go. All right. I want to know what that relief is, though. EV Place. Here we go. I'm not saying it's a big thing. Just fund it by incident. Uh, yeah, that ain't gonna happen. Neo-colonialism. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna call it something else. I'm not calling it that. I'm calling it something else. Neo-colonizing. That's what it is. Hey, Eric, what's up with the very bad news for Schwab U.S. dividend equity? I don't know about that. I don't know about. Like I said, I haven't been online today. Or quite frankly, wait a minute. What was this? Schwab. Wait. U.S. equity. What about it? Let me see. I don't know about the bad news. I haven't seen that yet. I'm going down your list, but I'm skipping. Maybe I'll pull it up. Oh, P. Moore. Yeah. Okay. Um. Yeah, the Nissan thing I want to check out because I find that very interesting. Honda to recall 259,000 U.S. vehicles over brake and pedal issue. All you Honda owners, you need your brakes. Uh, JP Morgan moves further into crypto with stablecoin like token JPMT. Here we go. Again, this was like the biggest fake BS by Jamie Dimon over the years because the whole time he was saying, "Oh no, crypto's no good." He was out here hiring people to figure out how to do crypto and all kind of stuff. Now look, they come out with JPMD. Oh, this is hilarious. A stable coin. This is hilarious. Now, what's not hilarious from an investor standpoint, I don't know about betting against JP Morgan, even if it is a stable coin. I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with if it's a stable coin, but it's almost like I gotta rock with them because they make some savvy business decisions and they do other stuff too. Oh man, I got this playing in the background. I had that Puerto Rico playing in the background. All right, hopefully you guys can hear me. Very bad news for SCHD. What's the bad news? I don't see. Well, SCHD was always post retirement travels, and a lot of people's favorite, and we talked about it here too. And it looks like MCHD Holdings right now. I'm dying. There's a lot of talk about this. I guess it must have dropped. I am a lot of people avoid nightmares with ACHD. Good grief. Uh, this is interesting. I don't see anything. I see some videos where somebody actually says very bad news for SCHD, what to buy instead, but that's April 2025. So I don't know. I don't know. It's basically been small performing type of thing. So we'll see what happens. Right? Okay. I got another. Let me see if I can do this. Um, all right, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. Thank you. Oh, and I actually did a replay. That was by accident. I was supposed to do this one.
Come on, come on.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I had to laugh. I was seeing this. Can I self deport the DR with 100 bonus for vacation? That's funny. I like the thinking, man. News, military today. Uh-oh. Wow. Check if your project is coming with own water treatment facility. Blue Marlin is. Exactly. That's true. That is very true. A lot of people are still doing it, but unfortunately, though, even though they have that, I don't know what it entails. But nonetheless, yeah, they're doing that at Vista Cana. They're doing that at a lot of places. I'm glad to hear Blue Marlin is. That's great. I like that. That's great. That hey, it needs to be done. I don't blame anybody for doing it from a developer standpoint. That's great. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've been on here. I started going on a tangent thanks to Joe Nay and thanks to Brian P. But this stable coin is going to be very. I don't know what it's supposed to do. Isn't it supposed to peg to $1? Um, Alternative to a stable coin, JPMD, the new project is so-called deposit token that's designed to serve as a digital representation of commercial. Okay, just like a dollar bill. Whatever you think it's worth, it's worth. JP Morgan said for the benefit of the launching a deposit token over a stable coin is the close connection with traditional banking system. Okay, whatever. What's the difference? It's going to act like a dollar, electronic dollar. So what? The U.S. banking giant told CNBC that it's planning to launch a so-called deposit token, public blockchain base, okay, which is built on top of the Ethereum network. Good choice. Each deposit token is meant to serve as a digital rep. Okay, he's doing that again. It is so-called permission token. meaning it's only available to JP Morgan institutional clients. Oh my, what is that? Okay, we're going to have to read up on it, right? Thank you for sending it, man. You're giving me too much reading for this upcoming week. All right. Here, I'll put a link down in case anybody's interested. All right, I'm going to wrap this up, ladies and gentlemen. I want to thank you so much for being here. I wanted to get into it a lot more. I got sidetracked, but don't be fooled by world events. The top 10% that own 93% of the stock market, it's their casino. It's going up because they're able to buy back their own shares of stock, which is one reason why the stock price could increase with all this mayhem going on. They also know that there may be a tax break coming for them, which means they're willing to spend more money now. They also know Jerome Powell and company is going to reduce the Federal Reserve rate 2 times this year, most likely. And I predict this July, I think they'll go down, regardless of world events. So hopefully that happens. That'll work out good for everybody. All right. Thank you again, Brian P., Mr. Dividend. Greatly appreciated. Bank stable coins will be backed with U.S. Treasuries. More buyers on U.S. debt. EV Place said it right. When you buy a treasury, a bond, that actually allows the United States government to print money, aka debt. Who's going to pay that debt? American taxpayers. Just saying. If people understand how this system works, you would be terrified. Because all your life, when I was growing up, it was get one of these U.S. government bonds. In a few years, it'll be worth X amount of dollars. I didn't realize it was so they can print more money, so they can devalue the currency, so everything costs more the following year because they owe interest on this thing. I'm just like, holy smokes. You're thinking it's a good thing because you make money, and then you find out, wait a minute, taxpayers actually have to pay this back in the form of the 3%, 2.5%, which now it's 4.2 or 4.3% annual return. All of a sudden, it's like, holy smokes, what do you mean $30 trillion? Which turns into $1 trillion of interest only and never pay back the principal. That's bad, ladies and gentlemen. You're putting more money in the money supply. That means you're devaluing your currency on a daily basis. And now here we go. If this is true, if the stable coins are backed by U.S. treasuries, then this is even worse. The reason why is because they're going to have hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars buying U.S. treasuries. And that means that 1 billion, let's just say dollars, is going to be printed up out of thin air on something that is thin air. It's another derivative, actually, which is bad because you're printing money out of thin air for values that do not occur. It's evaporation. So therefore, you devalue your currency, it costs people more money, and now you get to an end game because you have 80% of your population living paycheck to paycheck and all-time record highs, and your credit cards are going to get cut off. Or they're not going to increase your limit. So you're just going to have more people that's going to be living paycheck to paycheck this time next year, regardless of what the stock market does, regardless of what home prices do, regardless of what the interest rate is for the mortgages, because it's an upside down world where 7% mortgages, people still buy homes and home prices increase. It's upside down. There you go. Exactly. We are in a pawn shop. Exactly. Big, beautiful bill. Oh man, yeah, if you're rich, if you got assets, it is one hell of a big, beautiful bill. But if you're not, you're going to have to pay the taxes for those guys. Have you guys seen what the person making under $50,000 a year has to pay extra in taxes? Yeah, extra. While the rich guys pay less taxes. You have to cover it. So, congratulations, your great great grandkids and great 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 grandkids, if America's still here and there's not some sort of Armageddon. Um, it's going to come to a head. Somebody's not going to be able to afford anything. You're going to be basically third world country with a lot of. You're going to be the Soviet Union with all their planes that are 50 years old and no parts and all that. I mean, it's going to be crazy. Unfortunately, it might happen in my lifetime. In fact, the likelihood is pretty high. So the rest of the world isn't scared. When you don't have an alliance and you're out here by yourself, which is what the USA is trying to do, it seems right now, that means the allies look at you sideways. So how willing are they to go with you? So when you bomb Iran for Israel, what is the allies supposed to do with this? Don't be fooled, ladies and gentlemen. All this distraction is to make sure that you don't create wealth. So you got to make sure you are trying to create wealth. The key phrase, trying, doing. That's what you got to do. So, with all that said, thank you so much for being here, listening to my rhetoric tonight, otherwise known as harmful rhetoric by YouTube. I appreciate that you're here again, and I love you guys. And thank you so much for your support. And please like, subscribe, and click the bell below so you get the latest updates. And I know it's hard out here. And that's why I have to have these deep conversations with you, because it's not a cut and dry scenario. You can't go, I make $100,000 a year and I'm going to be good 5 years from now. You can't do that. You don't know. And unfortunately, since you can't go, okay, everything's just going to go up another 2 or 3% every year, there could be a huge spike. You could be laid off. You may not have health care. All of these things come into play. And when something costs you outrageous amounts of money for getting sick, and it could cost you $100,000, $200,000 at a hospital without insurance, it doesn't mean so much if you only have a couple $100,000 sitting around, or 400,000. If all of a sudden you get a hospital bill and they're trying to attach all these assets or liabilities that you own. So that's why we have to discuss trust here sooner or later, right? We got to get you guys set up. The will, toss it. You need a trust. So I've been promising that we have to talk about it, and I definitely do, but I am not an expert at it. So I've been trying to get the expert on so they can talk about it. So that would be a much more comfortable scenario for all of us. So again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for your support and everything. And I know it's rough out here. A lot of people are under stress, especially when I have mass men jumping out unmarked vehicles, trying to snatch people right in front of you. That gets a little worrisome. It could be you. It could be me. And detained in an unknown location to your friends and family. I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be afraid, scared, rightfully so. There's going to be a lot of people afraid and scared who's not in detention. And when you run across them, they may act differently. So just keep in mind, just because it's a nice sunshiny day out, just because it's a rainy day out, it does not matter. Don't be fooled out here. There's a lot of people under stress. And stress, you never know what's going to happen. Some people break. F average. Be legendary. Mark, get set, go. And with all that said, make sure you keep your head up. Keep moving. And I'm